Welcome to the weekly share of Zer Shimshon. It's Gimel Kislev, Tafshin Pei Beis. And I'm going to read you a parsha from the Zer Shimshon and Parshas Toldos. Last week's parsha. There was so much in that parsha. It was unbelievable, mind-boggling. Anyway, this is from Kapitel Yud Beis in the Zer Shimshon. Pasuk says, Ki hikra Hashem Elokecha lefonai. Ki hikra Hashem Elokecha lefonai. It says, Yitzchak said to his son, how is it that you were so quick to find my son? And he said, Yaakov said, because Hashem, your God, arranged it for me. Kashe says, Lama hutzach loimer kan Elokecha. Why did it say your God? Okay, Haloy hayadai loimer ki hikra Hashem lefonai. It was sufficient to say, Hashem helped me. Why did he say your God and not just the general name of God? Yesh the tarets. The kavanas Yaakov haisel heishiv loy hatam lama miher limtzai. The time Yaakov was giving a reason why he was so quick to find the shnei gedoy izim, the food for Yitzchak. This was a maze, okay? It was a maze. But if it was a nace, then Yitzchak wouldn't want to eat from it because he didn't want to have a pleasure from mais and nisim, like it takes, because it takes away from your schuyot. Anyway, brings the Gemara over there. We're not going to go into it. Therefore he said, Elokecha, your God. Claimer, what does that mean? Why did he say your God? Ein zeg nikra nes etzlecha. Because it's not called a nes by you, Yitzchak. Shahari kasav Rashi. Rashi says, Al pasuk v'hine Hashem nitzav alav. That's Hashem was standing over Yaakov Avinu. Kan yiched shmoy al Yitzchak lefi shekehu einav. Yitzchak's name was designated with God's name already because his eyes had dimmed and the kalu bebayis, and he was incarcerated in his house. He couldn't go anywhere. V'harihu kemes, it's like he's dead. V'yetzahara pasak mimenu, and the Yetzahara has disappeared from him. Ad kan l'shayne. That's what Rashi says. Therefore, since you don't have a Yetzirah, you can eat from this world with ahanes and mais and nisim and have a pleasure from miracles. Shehu hasachar shel olam haba, which is the reward for the world to come, and you're already in the world to come. But the fisha Hashem hu Elokecha shekvar yiched shmoy alecha, because God has already designated His name on you. The agav archin, and by the way, he says yesh lakachas musar haskel. Everybody can take a good lesson from this. Shekol adam yesh lo halahakir bechol ma'asav niflois ma'aseh Hashem. Everybody can recognize in his own deeds the wonders of God's creation. Ki ein b'koyach adam la'asais klum, because the person doesn't have the koyach. He doesn't have the power to do anything by himself. Im loy bechesed Hashem, if it wouldn't be for the chesed Hashem. She'ein adam noikif be'atzboi lamata elim kein nigzar alav milamayla. A person doesn't hurt his finger or stumble on his foot or hurt his toe if it wasn't the gezerah min hashamayim. That's Gemara Chulin Daf Zayin Amud Beis. V'chein b'chol revach shiyasa al yomer, everything he profits. He shouldn't say ki zeh bo loy behishtadlusay ha'atzom. This came because of my great efforts. El chesed Hashem, it's a chesed Hashem. Ve'im yala gedula al yomer ki chachmasay garmalay. And if he goes up to greatness and recognition, he shouldn't say that his wisdom caused it. Rak chesed Hashem, it was a chesed Hashem. That's what he means. Ki hikra Hashem Elokecha lefonecha, that God is, your God has happened before you. Raya, the Raya is Shahari B'Yakov Loi Hikra Loi HaKadosh Baruch Hu Klum. Because for Yaakov, God didn't happen anything for him. Rak hu holach likacha shnei gedoyim. He just went to get the two gedoyim that were from his mother's flock. Ve'asa oisa mehera shaloi hayu tzrichim lekol kach zman. Didn't need such a long time to get them. You didn't have to go out hunting like Esav. Kimay leilech hasada latzutzai. To go out and hunt for them. Ve'im kain l'chayra Yaakov diber davar sheker. So, but Yaakov then spoke a falsehood. Hikra Hashem klum ela mishemitz shemitzad atzmam loy hutzach l'tikunim kol kach zman. He really didn't need to have so much time to prepare them. He just brought the goats and his mother, or somebody shechted them, and his mother, he probably shechted them, and his mother cooked them. Elavadai sheyakov rotza loimer nizgagal adavar beratzan habayre. Yaakov understood that this happened all through God's plan. It's chesed Hashem. So I'm not going to prepare for you your food that you can't eat. He did it in front of me, for me, and not in front of my brother, for my brother. Now, there's a long segula, but it's really good. I'll read it to you. It says, Rav Yisrael Zilberberg told me the following story. A younger man by the name of Rav Avram came across Devar Torah in the Sefer Zera Shimshon on Parshas Toldos that he connected with the same Devar Torah that he connected with on a very deep level. Every single one of us must recognize the incredible power of the Ribono Shel Olam on every single action we take. For a human being would have no ability to do anything whatsoever if it were not for the ongoing kindness of Hashem. Chesed Hashem. One does not bruise his finger in this world unless it is decreed so on high. So too, when it comes to any profit that a person makes. So do not take credit for it or pat yourself on the back and say, this is due to the amount of work that I put into this deal. Just recognize that this is complete kindness, chesed Hashem. If you become great or appointed to a prominent position, do not say that it was your wisdom that caused this. Instead, make sure to remember that it was only due to the kindness of Hashem. This explains why when Yitzchak Avinu asked Yaakov how he managed to prepare a delicious meal for him so quickly, not knowing that he had taken two of his mother's goats and that Rivka had cooked them while Asa was out in the field hunting, Yaakov replied, God arranged it for me. In other words, I had help from the Ribono Shel Olam. Okay, wait a second. Why is Yaakov Avinu crediting Hashem with what happened here? What did Hashem have to do with this? It was Yaakov who went and brought the two goats to his mother, who then quickly prepared them for his father, saving him the time he would have otherwise taken to go hunting. Yaakov and Rivka carried out their plan all by themselves. So why are they blaming God? That was why everything came together so rapidly, wasn't it? So why are they bringing God into the picture? Yaakov should simply have told the truth to his father. The necessary ingredients had already been in the house, and they hadn't needed to much in the way of preparation. But no, he credited Hashem with making it happen because Yaakov Avinu was giving us a message for all time. Hashem arranged it for me means that the action he took was only possible because of the involvement of the one above. Because the truth is that every single thing that happens to a person only happens because Hashem allows it. Even those things that seem to have occurred because you did them, right? Then that's why Yaakov Avinu gave credit to Ribono Shel Olam for the speed with which the meal was ready, because it was only due to his ultimate kindness that he, Yaakov, was able to reach his father before his brother, thereby receiving the brachas. Now, this vart that we just read and retranslated from in English, Rabbi Avram learned this piece and enjoyed it so much. Rabbi Yisrael continued that he decided to call the noted Mashpia and Talmud Chacham Rabbi Elimelech Biderman Shlita and share it with him. The Torah that Rabbi Elimelech disseminates is published under the title Be'er HaEmunah, the Wellsprings of Faith, and the Avrich felt that this piece of Torah was particularly apropos for a person who has turned the concept of Emunah into one of his own most developed themes, both in written and spoken words. The Avrich was true to his word. he called Rabbi Elimelech and told him the shtickle Torah. Rabbi Elimelech reacted with enthusiasm and proceeded not only to include the piece of Zera Shimshon in his shiurim, which he reached approximately estimated 8,000 people a week, but to publish it in the booklets that he produces on a regular basis as well, which are read by numerous people and available in Yiddish, Hebrew, and English. There's no question that by sharing this vort with Rabbi Elimelech, Rabbi Yisrael told Rabbi Avram, you've accomplished a great deal because of the inaction that you took. Thousands of Yidden have learned a piece of Zera Shimshon this week. This is exactly what the Zera Shimshon asked people to do for him. Then Rabbi Yisrael said, I'm sure that you will see Simani Bracha Bekarev due to what you have done. Okay? They spent a few more minutes engaged in the conversation before departing with feelings of warmth on both sides. A year later, Rabbi Avram called Rabbi Yisrael up. Rabbi Yisrael, yes, he said, I just wanted to let you know that we had a baby girl this Thursday of Parshas Toldos. Rabbi Yisrael wished a warm mazel tov. It's a funny thing, he went on, because in truth I hadn't put two and two together and had completely forgotten that it was exactly this time last year when Rabbi Elimelech Biederman published that beautiful shtickle from the Zera Shimshon that I shared with him. He wasn't finished yet. You should know, he continued, that the birth of every single one of our previous children was extremely difficult for my wife. The babies were consistently born weeks after their due dates, and you can understand what that means for a mother trying to run a house in such a condition. This time, however, everything was different. For one thing, the baby was born early. For another, she was born literally a few minutes after we arrived at the hospital, a far, far cry from the way the rest of our children entered this world. It should be a mazel bracha for everybody to learn the Zera Shimshon, and everybody should have Hatzlacha Rabbah, the Kol Tuv Zay Gebench.